right, welcome to Lifestyles, the Interesting and Infamous. I'm JoleneMaria, as always, and today we have somebody who pulls hairs for a living. Isn't that amazing? So, Rhonda, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show.
You're very
Jolene
welcome.
Maria.
So, why don't you tell everybody?
Fireside theater.
Yeah, you know, we like to keep it classy here.
Yes, it's like fireside chats.
Exactly. So,
You're too young to know that, I think.
yeah, I have no idea. I'm just going to go along with it like I do. It's fine. So, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what your expertise is?
Am I supposed to look at the camera there?
You can.
Camera one? Camera
Yeah, that one's yours.
Which is my better side?
This one right here.
This one? Okay,
Yes.
thank you for the thumb up in there.
So
Steve.
tell them what you do.
Well, I don't pull hairs out. That would be called tweezing.
Okay.
What I do, What I do is electrology and laser hair removal. And I do it in Swampscott. I have a business there called Bellinos, and other people work there also. And it's something I got into years ago. Next year will be 30 years that I've been doing this. You need a license to do it, and I have had a license for almost 30 years.
So what got you into deciding to do this?
I think when I was young, my sister had a problem with hairs in her face, and my mother was taking her to an electrologist, and I was saying, you know, she's been going so long, how come it's supposed to be permanent? What's going on? And my mother was saying, I don't know, she's a nice lady, you know? So
Of course, that's what attracts you to people pulling their
she was
hair out of your
nice.
face.
Yeah, right. So I investigated it, and I looked, and I saw another electrologist in the same city, and I said, you know, I told her the story, and she said, have her come see me. And my mother was like, oh, no, you know, you can't be disloyal, you know. And finally, I convinced them to go and talk with her, and within a couple months, she had almost nothing left in her face. Turns out that the other woman was grandfathered before they had any rules, regulations, training, etc. And she was grandfathered in, and you know, back then you'd buy a machine and kind
Stab
of
people
read
with
the
it.
pamphlet, you know, and you know, do it in tweeze.
So what's the best method? Would you say that?
Well, it's a combination probably of the two, depending on a lot of factors that, you know, whether you're a candidate for laser or electrology or both. Laser is, they tried to call themselves permanent hair removal, but they can't. So they do permanently reduce hairs. Laser does on a good candidate. So a lot of times people will have a laser treatment or two and then switch to electrology. I had a woman come to me, you know, around my age, and all of her hairs from years of tweezing were on her chin. Oh, laser me, and you can't. It doesn't, the laser doesn't do anything to white hairs, very blonde hairs, light hairs. The best candidate is someone with dark hair and light skin.
So are you seeing any changes, like with technology with this at all?
Well,
Or?
the laser, I've been doing it since 1998, and I've seen a lot of changes occur. It's gotten way better. And electrology hasn't really changed, in essence, since like over 125 years. The same method, the same way they did it years ago is basically what we do now. Better machines, you know, etc.
But what it basically is a needle and
It's a
shocks
needle.
you, right? If there's
Well,
like a
what it does is you're going into with a small needle, you're going into an existing opening, a follicle where the hair is coming out of. So if that's the hair coming out of a follicle, the needle would go right into that same opening. And then a little bzz from the machine, and then the hair slides out. So if we pulled and it didn't come out, we'd go, you know, give it another zap.
Right.
For lack of a better word. And then take the hair out.
Interesting.
And then, as you know, you might get some regrowth, and you also have the cyclical nature of hairs. And then in time, it's gone forever. I wish I could show you my underarms. I had them done in 1983.
So you haven't had to shave since 20 years?
Oh yeah, over 20 years.
That's awesome.
When I was in school, I thought, where can I not reach myself? And I thought, you know, it's a small enough area, finite area, and so we worked.
It's pretty hippie of you to get your armpits done, so you don't have to ever shave your armpits
Well,
again.
I used to go with my friends to the beach. Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Should have grown it long like Candy Slice from Saturday Night Live. But I used to like say go to the beach on a Saturday morning and shave and scrape my, to be smooth. You'd still see stubble, and for days I'd be sore.
Right.
From
guys don't have any idea what we're talking about,
Well, a lot of
They have
guys
some
shave.
idea, yeah.
A lot of guys shave their underarms. They don't like it because hair holds perspiration.
Yep, makes you smell worse.
Yeah, I think it holds it. And a lot of guys, I should say guys, men, a lot of men do laser and electrology.
I also heard a story about how you did somebody that had got like a skin graft and they had hairs on the inside of their
gosh,
mouth.
this was, I didn't actually do them because he had a throat cancer, and they took the hairs from his chest.
I mean the skin.
I'm sorry, yes, the skin with the hairs on it from his chest. What they didn't do was electrology at first. He was too
Which would have
old.
been, yeah.
The hairs were gray. He was too old to have laser. Well, the hairs were too old. And they put that into his throat. And when he came to see me, I couldn't believe it. In his throat were just hairs growing out all over the place.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And they got darker while they were in there. And
that must be the weirdest feeling.
he was so grossed out by it. He was so grossed out by it because he said food would get stuck to it, and it was like awful.
It's like dingleberries in your throat.
He was like,
that's
"Help
awful."
me." What I did is I said to him, I can't. I was afraid I'd poke him with my instruments, forceps. I couldn't get in there, and plus when I'd go to get in there, my head would blot out
all the light.
Like the lights.
Yeah.
So I took him to an excellent doctor at Mass General who does laser hair removal. He's like the father of all laser hair removal, and it's Dr. Rox Anderson at Mass General. I took him there, and he knocked him out. He had an anesthesiologist. He had another doctor there, he's a dermatologist anyway, and they lasered it.
That's crazy.
And you had to be careful not to destroy
the tissues and everything.
So you want to go high enough to do that without destroying your skin even, if it was, say, a person who was doing their arms or whatever. But low enough, I should say low enough that you don't destroy it, but high enough so that you're getting the hairs.
Right.
So
so it's an even medium.
Right.
Right. That's pretty crazy. So those are some pretty crazy things that I don't think anybody else has ever come across in their life. People with hairs in their throat and transvestites getting face
Most
plucked.
of the men we see are, they want their back done. They have what one guy called the Burt, and I says, "What's that?" And he said, "It's like Burt from the Muppets." He's like,
you might as well get that done forever. That's one thing you definitely should get done forever.
We called it the unibrow, but he called it the Burt.
It's a good name for it. I kind of like it.
I know. So now he has 2 eyebrows.
Finally.
Yeah, and it works. It's great, and we've helped a lot of people over the years. I feel good, like I'm helping people, because a lot of women have hormonal issues, problems, diseases. Polycystic ovarian syndrome creates hairs.
Really?
Medications they take can make hair grow.
Really?
They get pregnant. Hormones, all about, women get pregnant. They sometimes, get more hairs than they should have. My own mother, when she had cancer, had to go on tamoxifen, a medication, and she didn't have any hairs on her, thanks to me. And all of a sudden, she's like, "Ron, help me," So different things can create hairs. Stress, even just stress.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's amazing how the body can react to certain things that and just produce certain ideas, whether it be hair or like odors or whatever it does to you.
Right.
Just the body's such a weird, complex thing. Oh yeah, that's right. I wanted to tell everybody that we're making angel hair pasta for you.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good dish. You will like it a lot. It's one of my favorites. It's got goat cheese and basil and garlic and all kinds of deliciousness.
Sounds
and,
good.
It's gonna be. It's all in dedication to you because you're good. So, is there anything else that you want to say to people that they don't know about yet?
Yeah, any young people, if you're feeling depressed or feel like you aren't living your life to the fullest, go somewhere and get help, move on, get help. I remember I was just very agoraphobic. I didn't go out. I pretty much stayed home all in the 70s. And I went for help. And I finally went for help when I started seeing the psychiatrist I mentioned a while ago. And I just got up one day and said, I don't think anyone I know would want me to live like this, including myself, unless I really hate myself, truly hate myself.
Well, it's a disease.
It is.
It's
It
like
is.
it's being addicted to drugs. You know, you're
Right.
addicted to that
Right.
sense of having control over something that you have
Yeah.
no control over.
Yeah. As I got older, I found that I couldn't help myself as much as I could when I was younger. I couldn't work through my anxiety and stuff. So I one day just picked up the phone and called McLean Hospital and said,
Like, help me out.
I need help.
You know, I think everybody gets to that point though. They're
I
all
could
like,
hardly drive. I was driving there, and they helped me so much that I moved on in my life. I did better, and I'm more sociable. I think I'm more outgoing. I smile at people. Excuse me, but one of
That's
my
okay.
favorite shows on TV when I used to watch it was Biography. I just found it so interesting.
Because when you actually get to
I
the nitty gritty and enjoy
I
somebody.
love hearing everyone's biography. I kind of know yours from your history, some of it. But I mean, when someone, even the person that you think, oh, he's going to be boring, you know, he's going to whatever all his life, you know, milk me. You know, it's like, it's interesting. They all have a story to tell.
That's why I have this show.
It's great. I think it's a fabulous, great idea because every person is a unique biography. And
And they're walking all around and nobody knows it.
I know.
You know?
I once read that there's like a ratio of about 32 to 1 of dead people to live people. And I thought, if we all took 31 people and interviewed them, you know, we'd have some interesting stories.
So what was your favorite year so far?
Of my life?
Yeah,
Oh gosh, that's so hard.
I know. I ask difficult
I'd
questions on
probably
the show.
say, you know, your life goes by faster the older you get.
Right.
Which is good, so you can enjoy your teens longer. I'd probably say 15.
Really?
Yeah.
That was your favorite year? That was pretty
15
crazy.
for the moment, caught between 10 and 20. But that was one. I'd say that was one of them. And I don't know. Every year was a favorite year, even though I had problems during certain years. I think every year was a favorite year.
There's always a good time to get out of it. There's always something to learn. Well, I want to thank you for being on Lifestyles Interesting and Infamous. And we will be making angel hair pasta, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be delicious, I promise. And thanks again for being on the show.
Was
and
I
if you want
supposed to be
see,
looking there all the time?
you can look wherever you want. And
I
you
was
can
looking
also
at
go
you.
and visit Rhonda in Swampscott at her Electrology studio if you want to get some hair removed. She's very good at it.
It's a website.
Oh, there's a website?
Yes, it's www.bellinos.net.
Okay, we'll put that down at the bottom for you.
And like I said, we do hair removal, permanent hair removal.
Yeah, get rid of them forever. You'll never have to shave your armpits
I
again.
know, I should have worn my tank top and you could see my
I didn't get mine done yet, but I will. All right, well, thanks.
Thank you, Jolene Maria.
You're welcome. I love you.
Love you too.
I love you so much.
I mean it.
I love you too.
Ooh, I got the mics. Where's the
I always do that.